This is Robbie Illuminati, the motherfucking op killer, and your eyes, ears, mind, body, and soul are checking out the 3 Count Podcast.
When in it, an unbelievable wit that you might hate, but you can't even
Dangerhawk has what you find at Drag Ball at.
Now entering the ring.
Welcome everybody to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. I'm your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller, the man who leads you up the mountain. That's right, I'm your Sherpa for this journey of this thing called wrestling, and we're going to the peak. But it's never about me. It's about who's entering the ring. And today you can find our person on Invictus Pro. You can find him at the House of Hardcore. You can find him part of Titan Championship as well as Lucky Pro Wrestling. He is the Dangerhawk, Dennis Morgan.
What's going on, everybody?
What's up, man? Yo, thank you for coming on the show.
Anytime.
Bet. So we're going to kind of like peel a little bit out of the curtain back. So we actually met at Invictus Pro, a few weeks ago. And, I'm going to be honest, man, like I was blown away by your presentation. I was like, I got to get this guy on the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's basically, here's the thing that people don't get is when everybody gets told, oh, well, wrestling, it's just you, but exaggerate. It's you turned up to 11 and then exaggerate it. I was like, okay. Easy enough. So literally what you see when I'm wrestling is how I am all the time. Just like slightly calmer.
Right. That's
like, it's not a wig. My hair is actually like that. It's blue.
Yeah, it was funny, man, because like when I showed up, like I knew Alex because I had Invictus Pro has been on the show before. And so I had hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm just going to come up and we just want to help set up the ring. Really, that's all we wanted to do. And so we popped up and we kind of just like crept in the back and we shook everybody's hands. We were doing the polite things like we're supposed to, but we really like kind of kept to ourselves. But then like Alex pointed me out and I was like, hi. I was just, and after that, I felt like everybody was like, oh, we're just going to go and start talking to him. And I was like, bet. So we'll start talking to everybody. And then like, it was I had such a blast too. I
think outside of the Team 3D students, you and the kid whose name I forgot, I'm sorry, that you were with were like the first 2 people I saw because obviously I didn't recognize you guys. So I was like, oh, who are these guys? And the second I rolled up. Right.
Yeah. So Chaz actually is the other person. He's the host of our debate shows on Sunday. So yeah. But yeah, we had a blast and we were just like, man, like this is crazy. And then like as we were driving back, we were talking about the show the whole time. And then like just connecting with everybody and asking everybody if they want to come on our show and talk with us, man. It was just like I said, it was just a fun time all around. But we're going to fire this off, man, and get into these questions, man. So the first question I got to ask is, who is the Dangerhawk?
The Dangerhawk is Dennis Morgan. Like I said, it's just me. I know everybody wants to hear some like wild explanation of like, oh, I came up with it like this. I can't hear good sometimes. And I was in school and somebody said something. Don't know what they said. And I thought they said Dangerhawk. So I was like, what'd you just say? I was like, Dangerhawk? And they go, one of the other students turns around and he looks at me and he goes, if that's not your new wrestling name, I'm never going to come and see you wrestle. And then I immediately texted Alex and I said, what do you think about this? And he said, I love it. And that's how it's been since September, whenever that happened. And it stuck. Drink beer, ride motorcycles, union steam fitter. That's it. And a lot of music, lots and lots of music.
Yeah, I hear that 100% because like even for me, like that's just kind of that's the life, right? Except for I don't ride motorcycles, I guess. That's the only thing I don't do. But lot of music and a lot of alcohol because that's always fun.
Exactly.
Sorry, now I got something in my throat. I'm like, oh Jesus, what the hell's going on? But how did you get into the business?
So I got into this sport. Wow. Okay. So do you want the long version or the short version?
This is
or like
your
the
podcast.
kind of in between version.
This is your podcast, man. We can go with whatever story you want to tell.
So I'll give you like the in between version. Watched it when I was a kid. Really wanted to do it. I really looked up to Eddie Guerrero and someone else until 2007, and then that changed. And yeah, so I was actually like in 8th grade. My friend Colin and I, who was at the Invictus show, you may or may not have met him. We were looking up schools, and I think the closest one we were able to find was in Hartford.
Mm.
So where we live, that's Hartford, I think is an hour and a half away. We were 13, and we were like, yeah, we could do this. Unfortunately, that was also in 2006, 2007, right around the time everything started going PG. And that was also when UFC started getting really big. So I stopped watching. And then the same friend Colin got a job working for WWE. He's no longer with them. But he started working there. I was like, I guess I should get into wrestling again. And I started looking at indie wrestling. I started getting back into the old wrestling that I used to watch. A lot of Jim Crockett and Georgia Championship Wrestling. And yeah, fell in love with it again. I had a friend who trained up at Platinum Fitness in Danbury. Started going there. Platinum Fitness then became the Team 3D Academy. And that's it. I'm basically riding it until the wheels fall off.
Damn.
So until somebody tells me, hey, stop doing this, or I die, I'm going to keep doing this.
All right, give me a second because I get some water. Something's like,
Yeah, go for it. If anybody's curious, I don't know if the video is going to be up. I'm currently drinking the Mondo Cane Diamant Dry Hop Italian Style Pilsner. It is based on the band and album Mondo Cane, which is Italian standards sung by Mike Patton from Faith No More and Mr. Bunkle. It is made by Thin Man Brewery in Buffalo. Thin Man Brewery, if you hear this, please send me more.
Oh, man. Sorry. Don't worry. I know we're talking about your beer, but we're going to rehash that so that way.
Don't worry. It's just me trying to make money.
Bet. Well, all right. So, all right. So we got you. I'm going to pick this back up in 3, 2, 1. All right, so yeah, that's crazy that you're just like, I'm gonna ride this till the wheels fall off, because I feel like that's like a lot of us anyway. Like once we get into the business, that's just how we're gonna go. Like we're like, we'll figure out the plans like as we go along, but we're just gonna dive head first and not break our necks. Like obviously land carefully.
Yeah, I mean, I almost did a couple of times because I'm stupid. But yeah, like I said, literally until either my body doesn't let me or somebody's like, you suck, stop what you're doing. Get out.
At that point, then I'd be like, that's just your opinion, bro. I'm going to go do what I want to do.
I'm going to say, yeah, well, everybody in the crowd says otherwise, brother. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. They love it. Which, humble brag, I do believe the crowd was the loudest during my match with the one Steve Stetson. That's a lie. Everybody got a good.
Everybody had like really great pops. I'm not gonna say yours might have been like a decibel louder than everybody else's, though. I might give you that.
I'm just trying to make myself feel better.
Make yourself feel better. Just be like, I was 1 decibel louder than everybody else that day.
My girlfriend and my neighbor were there, and I'm pretty sure they overpowered like everybody.
So let me know, man. Like, what's been like one of the hardest things that you've learned in the business so far?
Psychology.
Mm.
Trying to make things make sense and making less be more. That's definitely been the hardest. And even when like you think you got it, you don't. Like you can go and like recreate Steamboat versus Savage, like beat for beat, and still like it wouldn't click correctly. So that's definitely been the most challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that I know like I was watching a bunch of videos like because whenever I'm not trying to do like when I'm not in a ring training, I'm like either watching or I'm like watching videos like about just other things that are happening or we're doing this podcast. Um but it's something I've taken away too is that like Al Snow said in one of his YouTube videos when he was like going around like helping he was telling people he's like what stops like 2 6-year-old kids from doing the moves that you can do. And that's what
Yep.
he said. He was like ring psychology. He's like, because they can just reenact it. He's like, I could hire 2 6-year-olds to do every move that you guys can do. He's like, but it's the psychology part of it. And that's something that like I was like, man, like this is like you have to really dig deep into the roots of like everything to figure out like exactly what that means. And it's a trip to me.
Yeah, you can. I mean, like you go out there and scratch your ass, but if you do it at the right time, like and work it the right way, then it'll make all the sense in the world. And people will be like, "Oh my god, the way he scratched his ass! Do you believe that?" You know, it's all little things like that.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. So you said that you've taken like a lot of bad bumps. So I'm very curious, man. What's the worst bump that you've taken?
So to be clear, when I say I take a lot of bad bumps, what I mean is I've given myself a lot of bad bumps. Specifically, front flip bumps, because I'll get overzealous. And you know that clip of, I want to say it's Bam Bam hip tossing Spike Dudley, and he like lands real high up on his shoulders and on his neck.
Yeah.
I basically did that to myself one day. Because we were in the ring practicing and I was doing everything. And I was like, hold on, let me see how high I can get. And I just did not rotate all the way. And I think everybody had a heart attack. So, but my neck is strong. So that's the one thing I have going for me. Besides that, oh man, it was like when we first got in the ring, we just learned how to do face bumps. And right? No, actually, no, that was probably the worst one. Yeah, that was definitely the worst one. I just flipped and landed on my head.
I remember yeah, my bad bump. I've told this story probably like twice, like on the podcast, but it's still one that I just never forget. We were working on power slams and somebody was like, hey, I want to work on this power slam. And I was like, bet. Mind you, I've never taken one before. So it's like, whatever, let's go. What's the worst that can happen? And yeah, no, I landed like neck, shoulder, and like head all parallel to each other. And
now, was it like Davy Boy Power Slam or like
Randy Orton? Yep.
Okay.
Randy Orton. And I just went straight down, spiked in the ground. And
God.
my friend was like, are you okay? And I popped up. I was like, yeah, let's do it again. I think I knew where I messed up. I forgot to jump a little bit. So I know where we're at. And he was like, are you sure? And I like hit the ropes. And by the time that I was coming back, he had to be ready because I was going no matter what. So even if he moved, I was just going to do a flip bump anyway. But he's like, oh my God, man, I thought I killed Cliff. And I was like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Chris Muljo did something to me in December. I don't know what it was on. I don't know what happened. Basically, I landed and I pulled it's the piriformis muscle. So basically, it connects your tailbone to your hip bone. And whatever happened, for like a month straight, I had a pain in my ass. but it was from that match, and it did not go away for the longest time. And then I got really good at stretching after that.
I've heard crazy stories actually coming out. Like now, like I've interviewed a few of you guys, like hearing about some of the stories that come out of Team 3D. I'm like, I want to come up there and just get bumped and just learn how not to do things the right way, and then learn how to do them the right way, and just continue to grow and learn. Because that's something that I was hearing about, like how not to land and how it hurts and how to land and how it feels good. And I was like, I just want to fuck it up one time. That's it.
That's the problem is once you get it right, it's hard to fuck it up.
Right.
Like when you get in that like zone and you're just going, like I've one of the trainers, Randy Sean, me and him, when we work together, we don't call anything. We don't say what we're going to do. We just go.
Mm-hmm.
And like because we'll see like the younger students doing things, and we'll try to imitate it to show them where they were going wrong. And like, we can't. Like, we cannot purposely fuck something up.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because that's actually great advice to people. Like, everybody talks about we're gonna do it till we get it right. It's like no, do it till you can't get it wrong. Like,
yeah,
it's perfect. All right. So aside from like us trying to recreate our worst bumps, I'm just curious, what's the hardest you've been hit in a ring?
Bully gave me the not the hardest. Bully gave me a really stiff clothesline one night. And that was basically, he was just teaching us clotheslines. Or at least, yeah. But I think the probably hardest I've been hit was last October, I think, at Eruption for Invictus, when I wrestled GGP, Greek God Papadon. That was a really good match. We beat the shit out of each other. Like it was very hard hitting, and that was that so far I think that might be my favorite match. Don't get mad at me, Jason, but if Jason Andrews watches this or listens to this, but yeah, it's him. Also, Randy Sean, his hands turn into skillets when he chops people.
Mm.
It is like I can't even describe it. It's like if he had like roofing nails or like tacks on his hand. No matter how hard he does it, it's just the way his hand is built. All of his chops are just the worst.
I don't know, man. I've been chopped a few times. And yeah, we're not gonna go into those stories. So, all right, man. I know like a lot of wrestlers out there who, they don't eat before any match, right? Because they're always like worried about like throwing up or, losing it the other way in the middle of the match. But I'm very curious about you because everybody has that post-match snack or that post-match meal. So I'm very curious, like, do you have a post-match meal? And if so, what is it?
I do not. It is usually whatever I can get my hands on first. And I mean, it depends. Because like I'll eat beforehand. I'm not one of those people that starves himself all day. Clearly, yeah, no. If I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. So, and usually if I'm at a show or an event, it's whatever I can get to first. Whether it be generic gas station XYZ, or a Wawa, or a 7-Eleven, or whatever it is. So, like, if we get out of a show late, there's a Burger King or a Wendy's open, I'm going to eat Burger King or Wendy's. I'm also not picky at all.
So. I'm not picky. I everybody's like, do you prefer Sheets or Wawas? And I'm going to get heat for this, but I don't care. It's food.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shovel it in my face anyway.
Whatever I can afford and whatever tastes good.
Right. Just
Like,
I don't care. I don't care about the number 7 and the special you have going on. I just want that and that in the belly. All right. Get out of the way. All right, man. So then my other question, and it was something that you had mentioned, right? Is that you've been training for like 4 years now. You've been in the business for a couple of years, actually, like doing shows and stuff like that. So I'm very curious, like, what kind of advice would you give to up and coming wrestlers?
if I had to give advice to any up and coming wrestlers, make everything count. I know Chris Muldrow was on here. He said, eyes and ears open, mouth shut. That too. That's actually, do that first. But, because that's how you're going to learn the most lessons. But make every little thing count. Don't just do something for the sake of doing it. Don't go, oh, well, I watched a fucking so-and-so match last night, and they did a dive where they came off and then did a super kick and then did a thing and to this and to that. Don't. Just little things, make it count, sell. Because if you sell properly in the ring, you won't have to sell at your merch table.
Yeah. I like that. That's the first time I've heard that.
That is a Bully Ray quote through and through. And, things like that he said to me have stuck with me. Same thing goes for basically that. Well, that doesn't need to. That's not really a lesson. It's just how I am as a person.
Bet. All right, well then.
But, yeah.
Last question I have for you before we get into the second best segment of the 3 Count podcast. I need one do and one don't of the locker room.
Do. Well, yes, do introduce yourself to as many people as you can. At least make yourself aware. Make them aware that you were there. And I don't mean like fucking dress and drag and do the hula. I just mean, because perfect example, anytime I've worked ring crew at House of Hardcore, we'll be there. Say I need to talk to Tommy Dreamer about something. He is always running around like a madman. Or let's just say I just want to say hello to him and be like, hey, Tommy, just letting you know that I'm here, blah, blah, blah. He runs around like crazy. Just say, hey, let him know that you're there. You don't always have to walk up and say, hello, I'm so, like, if it's somebody that you already know. It's people at your meeting, obviously, don't interrupt them if they're talking to somebody or whatever. Just when you see that they're not busy, go up, say, hello, I am such and such. Nice to meet you. They will respond, and then that's that. So yeah, that's a do. Don't. There's a bunch of don'ts. I'm gonna go with something that somebody did. Don't drive down to the show, go on Tinder, and tell a bunch of girls that you're a wrestler in the hope that one of them will come and hook up with you. And then you leave them sitting in the car the whole night, and then you leave early and don't help us tear down the ring. Everybody who was part of the school that was at that show knows exactly what I'm talking about. Also, don't get upset and punch somebody in the face after the match. That was something I did.
Yeah.
Basically, keep it cool.
I like that. That's good though. That's good advice. Don't assault other wrestlers after the match. During the match, yeah, give your receipts. But afterwards, that's not.
Yeah, I got very upset after like my third match.
Oh no.
Yeah, but lesson learned. I haven't done it since.
See, it's a lesson learned. That's great. All right, so let's get into this second best segment of the Three Count Podcast. Everybody's asking, what's the first? It's easy. It's the Red Dogs Power Rankings that you can find every Sunday on our debate show or on Monday on IG and TikTok, because that's where I post them up all the time. But it is time for the 3 Count Podcast 10 count questions. Mr. Dangerhawk, this is how it works. I'm going to fire off 10 questions at you rapid fast. Whatever first answer comes to mind, that's your answer. Are you ready?
I am.
Let's put on an imaginary timer for added pressure. Bing! And here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Favorite cartoon?
Dragon Ball Z.
Bet. Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter?
Mortal Kombat.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Sonic or Mario?
That's a tough one. I don't want to give Killian the satisfaction of saying Sonic, but it is Sonic.
Favorite movie?
Oh, shit. My Cousin Vinny.
Oh, I love that movie. Avengers or Justice League?
If we're talking cartoons, Justice League. If we're talking movies, Avengers.
Okay. Favorite podcast?
Favorite podcast? I'm not going to say the one that I've been listening to a lot of because I will get heat for it. I will tell you after. But besides that one, Bust It Open and Last Podcast on the Left.
Okay, bet. Nominate someone you want to see on this show.
Oh, man, who do I want to see on this show? I want to see the bundle of charisma that is Tyler Kosenko, Ref Tyler, from Invictus.
Bet.
Right? Who else? Have you had Gio on yet?
Yeah, actually, I had Gio on.
Okay,
We'll talk about that post. We'll talk about that post show. It's nothing bad, Gio. Don't worry, Gio. It's nothing bad.
Nick Delta would be a good guest for you too.
Okay, bet.
So he's a brother out of Rhode Island. Me and him get along very well, even though we were supposed to have a match last year. That still hasn't happened, Nicholas.
You heard it here.
When are we going to make this happen, sir?
You heard it here. He's calling you out. His call out is out. All right. And my last question I ask every single person that comes on this show. Favorite curse word?
Fuck.
That's right. It's like the only word that you use.
I am a big fan of the C word. I know a lot of people get upset with that. But if we were in England, nobody would care.
Nobody would care. In fact, that word was used like numerous times on this podcast by different people. And I was like, you know what? I ain't even mad about it.
It's the internet. You can say whatever you want.
Say whatever you want. Cancel. That's the C word. Anyway. That is the 3 Count Podcast, 10 count questions. Last thing I need from you, Mr. Dangerhawk, let our viewers and our listeners know where they can find you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on social media under Not D Morgan, both Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at your local bar. You can also find me working somewhere on a commercial job site or in a coffee shop, depending on what hour it is. Where you can find me wrestling, Invictus Pro Wrestling, Titan Championship Wrestling. Those are the only ones I have coming up right now. Invictus Empire Rising, June 26th in Little Ferry, New Jersey. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm wrestling. I have not been told yet. So every other match got announced. I don't know what I'm doing.
Who knows? Who knows? But
show up, hang out with me in the crowd. That's all you gotta do. Just bring cold beer.
There we go. So that is it. And that's where you guys can find him. So you guys know what's up. This is the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. And as I said, I'm your Sherpa, the man who leads you up the mountain of this thing called wrestling. And it's never about me. Never. But it is about who is entering the ring. And who is entering the ring today? You see him there. He is the Dangerhawk, Dennis Morgan. And you guys know what to do. Tune into the next episode and be there, or you just wait till this episode ends, the outro plays, and then there's a whole nother show that's going to come on that's ours right after this one. So Peace.
What's going on, 3 Count Nation? I'm Clifford Red Dog Miller with the catchphrase. But what I really want you to do right now, go to twitter.com, right? Go over there, find us at the 3count_pod, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Go to IG at the 3count pod. Give us a like, give us a follow, leave us a comment. We want to interact with you. Go to youtube.com, give us a subscribe, turn the bell on, turn the notifications, leave a comment. We want to talk to you. Go to anchor.fm/the 3count podcast, and in there, you can leave us a message, and we will talk to you. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is that we want to talk to you. We want to have fun with you guys, and we love listening to what you guys have to say. Also, one thing I need you to do for me, the 3count podcast also has merchandise. Oh! At prowrestlingtees.com/the 3count pod. Please go buy our t-shirts. We love you guys, and we hope you love us too. So show us some support, please.